Hi, this is Travis from POSGuys.com. Today we're going to go over Ethernet printers and connecting them to your iPad, specifically for wireless usage where you don't necessarily have a Ethernet port available to you. If you do have an Ethernet port, that is the preferred way of connecting it to your iPad. As long as your Wi-Fi network is on the same network as your wired network, the two devices should be able to see each other. Of course, this is all dependent on your app itself. Your app has to be compatible with an Ethernet based printer. So if you don't have the luxury of having a port close to your printer, it's either in the middle of the room, your building's not wired for Ethernet, etc., then getting a wired connection may be difficult. So we have two options for you so that you can use an Ethernet printer in a wireless fashion. So the first one, and this one we've been selling for a little bit, is a Ethernet to Wi-Fi adapter. So the way that it works is you have this little box here. Okay, and that box connects to your Wi-Fi network. So you actually program this box to have the SSID and the password for your wireless network, and then it creates an Ethernet connection, and then does the Wi-Fi transmitting. It also requires USB power. Most of the Ethernet printers now have a port on the back for actually powering something like that. So you can plug that in, and then you plug in, really any length cable. I just use a 6-inch cable here, but you could have a longer cable if you want to hide the adapter on the box. So once that's done, you can see that it'll blink a few times, and then it will attempt to connect to our network. Once that light gets solid blue, then it's connected. And now it's connected. And I can go ahead and run a test print. So that's one of the easier ways to do that. The requirements on it is that you have either a Mac or a PC for being able to configure the adapter. You'll have to plug that into one of those devices in order to configure it. The other thing is people have said there's sometimes issues if you use a mesh network. When the device is kind of hopping between different bands, sometimes it can get lost and the IP address will get lost. So it doesn't work the best under those circumstances, where you might want to look at an alternative. The next option is to use a power line adapter. So the way that this device works is it actually uses the power lines in your building to create a network. You'll get two of these. So one of these, they usually are sold in pairs. One of these you'll plug in to your router, and so it takes a Ethernet connection and then plugs into your wall. And you want to plug it into the wall directly if you can. You want to avoid using surge protectors, using extension cords. If at all possible, plug this straight into the wall. And then you have a receiver that you also want to do the same thing. So whenever possible, plug both ends straight into the wall. And then an Ethernet connection will come out of here. So I'm going to unplug that adapter. And so I'm going to go ahead and connect the power line adapter to this printer. Ethernet cable into the power line adapter. And then we'll let it get a new IP address. And then I can go ahead and run some tests. So yeah, it connected just fine as well. So the best thing about the power line adapter is that the setup is really, really simple. You just plug one into your router, one into your printer, connect the Ethernet cable to both devices, and then that's it. They're good to go. You don't have to enter in passwords. You don't have to sync them together or anything like that. It's a very simple setup. However, if you have a complex electrical setup, you're forced to use several surge protectors, or you have extension cords, or you have several panels, or multiple businesses share one electrical grid, or you have knob and tube wiring. Any of these kind of factors can affect the ability for the two different adapters to communicate. When they work, they're great because it's just such a simple setup. However, if you know ahead of time that you have a pretty complex electrical system, then maybe you're going to want to opt for the Wi-Fi adapter instead. So that's kind of two ways you can take an Ethernet interface printer and connect it to your iPad via either a wireless adapter or a power line adapter. Either way, you're able to get it remotely connected. You just need an outlet or a wireless network. For more information on power line adapters or Ethernet adapters, please visit us at POSGuys.com. Thanks.